Hello, I'm not a historian or an expert. I'm just a native Texan tourist with a thirst for interesting history that seems to be left out of most history books. Come with me. Let's see what we can find.
Hey, today we're going to be exploring the old Alton Bridge in Denton County, Texas. It's called the old Alton Bridge because it used to go to the town of Alton, but that town doesn't exist anymore. At the time, in the 1800s, it was the county seat of Denton County, but the town doesn't even exist. It's completely abandoned. It doesn't exist at all. Now, there's a lot of history about this area and about this bridge, and we're going to talk about a lot of it. It's kind of a neat place. It is, well, let's just get to it.
This historical steel bridge is both historical and photogenic. Over the years, many wedding and prom photos have been taken here. At least one music CD chose to have their cover photos taken on the bridge. I will include a link to their page so you can listen to their music. And yes, I am the bass player on the cover. As you can see, sadly, the bridge and the bridge area park has not received the attention in TLC it probably deserves. Ownership of the bridge has possibly changed hands over the past few years, going from Denton County to the city of Denton. Graffiti and vandalism has made it less than a pleasant place to be. If I were to try my hand at fishing in the creek, I would, as a retired peace officer, probably carry my firearm for my protection and for the protection of my family. Aside from the history of the bridge and the general area, the bridge has a reputation for, of course, being haunted. As with most ghost stories, the details will vary depending on who is telling the tale. This is why the name of the bridge is sometimes referred to as Goatman's Bridge. Apparently a goat herder was accosted on the bridge when trying to cross it and hanged from the bridge. His ghost is said to approach those who cross the bridge at night. It is said to be haunted by a half-man, half-goat figure called Goatman. The bridge is part of a large trail system for Denton County and Elm Fork of the Trinity River, and you can walk down many trails from the bridge out into the woods and things like that and see animals and such, and it's pretty nice trails. And don't worry, there's plenty of poison ivy to go around. Remember, leaves of 3, let it be. Hickory Creek near the bridge is a very popular spot for catfish and crappie. At times, you can witness dozens of people fishing as you simply cross the bridge. Even though this bridge was built between 1882 and 1884, depending on who you ask, it was not the first Hickory Creek crossing in the area, of course. When this bridge was constructed, the county seat was Alton. And so people had to get to and from Alton, and they crossed the creek however they could. That town has been abandoned and erased from existence. There's no trace of it hardly anymore, except for maybe a chapel and a cemetery. Prior to 1884, the creek crossing was probably a wooden bridge or a ford. You know, it's fun to imagine how this old bridge first served horse and buggy traffic, and then eventually was the bridge for automobiles until 2001, when vehicle traffic was finally moved to the new concrete and steel bridge you see today. Prior to the new bridge, it was necessary for motorists to signal with a car horn before crossing the single-lane roadway.
Okay, behind me is a plateau, that hill back there, that is located between Denton, Texas and Fort Worth on Interstate 35W. Now, why am I showing you this hill between Denton and Fort Worth when I talk about an old bridge in Denton? Well, that's because the notorious outlaw Sam Bass, who's from Indiana, when he was a teenager, moved to Denton, Texas. And Denton, Texas was where he spent a large part of his adult life, all right? And yeah, he went around Texas robbing, trains and stuff like that, but he really was located out of Denton. And legend, I guess you could say, or common knowledge perhaps, says that this hill back behind me was one of his hideouts, if not his favorite. From there, he could look out and see Denton, and he could also see anyone coming to get him. He could see Texas Rangers or anybody approaching. It was kind of a safe place to be. It probably was a pretty good place if you just look at it. But why are we associating that with that bridge, that old Alton Bridge? Well, at the time, like I said, Alton was the county seat of Denton County, and legend has it that Sam Bass had an encounter, say maybe shootout, shots were fired there at that area there at the Alton Bridge. Now, of course, at that time, it was probably either a wooden bridge or a ford, okay, to get to the town of Alton. But that's the story. Sam Bass lived and worked before he decided to get into a life of crime here in Denton, Texas. And then once he did, of course, his hometown with a hill that looked out over it was a perfect place for him to be holed up or have as a hideout. And like I said, and that bridge was, or that area there going into Alton was the main place. He would come to town all the time, go to Denton or Alton or whatever. And the story is that there was some encounter there with him and Texas Rangers during what was called the Bass Wars. Sam Bass had gotten notorious enough that the Texas Rangers decided to commit a whole operation to capturing him, and ultimately, of course, killed him in Round Rock. So with that, hey, that's a little bit more about Sam Bass, Alton Bridge, Pilot Knob. I hope you had a good time. Don't forget to like and subscribe.